Hi, I'm Kenneth Eagleton, Director of Field Partnerships for IM, and I want to talk about our partnership that we have in Ivory Coast, or as it is known in French, Côte d'Ivoire, which is the official name of the country. IM sent missionaries to Ivory Coast first in 1958. That was when the work was opened up. And over the years, many missionaries were sent to Ivory Coast. There was a long period of time where Ivory Coast was the field where we had the most missionaries. And during that period of time, churches were planted in an area of the eastern side of Ivory Coast, especially in the northeastern part of Ivory Coast. Today, we no longer have resident missionaries in Ivory Coast, but we do have a thriving church. Last year, in their report to the National Convention, there were 134 churches, and the National Association there is divided up into 3 regional associations. So they all came together for the National Association and reported 134 churches currently, with a weekly attendance of about 10,000 people. Last year, they also reported 403 new converts and 468 baptisms, and that was only 2 out of the 3 regional associations that reported. One of them did not report, so the actual numbers were higher than that. So we are happy to say that the work in Ivory Coast is progressing well. We're pleased to see the fruit of the investment that IM has made in Ivory Coast for the last 60-something years. And we are happy to continue to be a part of what God is doing in Ivory Coast, in the partnership that we still have with the National Association of Free Will Baptist Churches there. I'd like to mention some of the projects that IM has with the National Church. First of all is a missions project. They are reaching out beyond the borders of Ivory Coast into the surrounding countries. And we have a couple, a recent graduate of our Bible Institute there that is now living in Ghana. And they have started a church there in Ghana. We also have, I think, about 3 churches that have been started in the northern country of Burkina Faso. So we do cooperate with the missions arm of the National Association of Churches there in Ivory Coast to help them to plant churches outside of their borders. Besides the planting of churches outside of their borders, they're also doing a work of planting churches in new areas in Ivory Coast. Our work in Ivory Coast already for some years now has expanded into the southeastern part of Ivory Coast, where the capital city Abidjan is located. We now have 5 churches there in the capital city of Abidjan. But it's also spreading now towards the north of Ivory Coast and towards the west, and also the southwestern part of Ivory Coast are areas where we have church planters that are planting multiple churches. So we cooperate with the committee, the missions committee of the National Association there to help them in this church planting effort. Another project that we have with the National Association is helping churches in mostly village churches or churches that are located in areas where the church has a hard time to affording to put up a church building. So we have decided to help some of these churches. They have to apply for it, and there's some guidelines for it. But basically, if they will go ahead and buy the land and put up the walls, and they are approved, then we will come in and pay for putting a roof on the building. Actually, the roof is one of the most expensive parts of building a church building in Ivory Coast. So several churches there have benefited from this program. Another project that we have has to do with the continued support of our Bible Institute in Ivory Coast. The Bible Institute was opened in 1987, and it has trained most of the pastors that we currently have in our churches in Ivory Coast, and continues to train workers at a Bible Institute level, and we subsidize part of the expenses of the Bible Institute. For the last couple of years, we've been talking to the National Association about the need that exists for opening a higher level institution for training leaders at an undergraduate level. And so this year, finally, after it was approved by the National Association last year, we finally got that program kicked off. I went to Ivory Coast in January of this year to help them get started. And we had our first classes of the Bible College there in Ivory Coast. We've had, up to now, we've had 63 that have signed up that have at least a high school diploma and have signed up for the Bible College program. I gave 2 modules while I was there teaching 2 different subjects, and I taught in 4 different locations because the Bible College will be decentralized. It's not, they don't have just one campus, but they will be teaching in probably about 5 different centers, and I was able to teach in 4 of those centers, and I had a total of 58 students in the 4 centers. So there has been a very good response to the new Bible College, and we have high hopes that this training program will help us with a tremendous leadership shortage that we have, tremendous pastoral shortage that we have for our churches. Because even though we have over 130 churches, we just have a little over 40 pastors that are in our churches. So most of our pastors are responsible for more than one church. So we are very hopeful that this new program will be used to train more people that will be able to assume more leadership responsibility in our churches. We ask you to participate in the World Missions Offering because most of the funding for our partnership in Ivory Coast does come from the World Missions Offering. So we need a good, strong World Missions Offering to be able to help us continue with the projects that we have in the Ivory Coast partnership. Thank you for doing all you can to support the Ivory Coast partnership and the World Missions Offering in April.